A couple of nights ago on Monday Night Raw, a fan jumped over the barricade and speared Seth Rollins while he was making his way to the backstage area. Of course, this was a terrible idea and it led to him getting arrested afterwards. Even though that was probably a terrible thing that happened to Seth Rollins, I thought it would make for an interesting video because it isn't the first time that this happened and I don't think it will be the last. Some people take these things way too seriously and others think they're just going to gain some benefits from doing this when they really don't. Whatever the case may be, this happened a ton of times, and today I'm going to cover 10 times when the fans destroy WWE wrestlers, and after the fans were done destroying them, the wrestlers got some revenge and destroyed them even more, and proceeded to actually beat them up. Anyways, let's jump right into the video with the first entrant on this list, number 10, Seth Rollins. I briefly spoke about it in the intro of the video, but I thought it was only fitting to include this on the list since the recent Seth Rollins incident was the reason why I'm making this video. Anyways, Seth Rollins was featured on Raw in a segment with Finn Balor. In this, he pretty much beat the crap out of Finn Balor and it was a nice brawl. As said earlier, Rollins was on his way to the back after taking care of business in the ring, and that is when he literally was completely blindsided by the fan that speared him. I really think that if Seth Rollins was looking at him, he could have easily gotten out of the way, but he was clearly distracted for those few seconds when he looked back at Finn Balor in the ring. Regardless, Rollins quickly put him in a headlock before the referees and security guards could take him away. Rollins was absolutely pissed, cursing him out before getting back into character for the closing shot of the segment. As you can see, Seth is a professional and I thought he handled this pretty well. Maybe a punch or two would have been nice for him, but he didn't even do that, and that takes a lot of composure. As for GUERRERO for criticizing Rollins, that was just a really bad take. Number 9, CM Punk. CM Punk might be adored right now by the AEW audience, but there was a time in 2012 when he was a heel that the WWE Universe hated. On the October 8th episode of Raw, CM Punk battled Vince McMahon in a street fight, and it was actually a really entertaining match for some reason. This was when Vince McMahon was still pretty cool. He was on the decline, but he still had it. Now he's clearly too old and can't really speak in cohesive sentences, but I digress, that is not the point. Towards the end of the match, CM Punk was going to hit the GTS to win the match, and that is when Ryback's music popped up. CM Punk took his belt and ran into the crowd to run away. Eventually, he would reach a section where Vince McMahon was able to cut a promo and punish Punk by giving him the ultimatum of either facing John Cena or Ryback. During this exchange, a fan stuck his middle finger behind CM Punk and even slapped him in the head and shoved him a little bit, and Punk got pissed and shoved the guy back right in the face, but the only problem was that he hit the wrong guy. The person who actually slapped him practically got away with it, which is crazy to think about. Number 8, Eddie Guerrero. In 2002, on an episode of Raw, Eddie Guerrero wrestled RVD with the IC title on the line in the ladder match. That was when WWE was on a different level. Anyways, while climbing the ladder, a really stupid fan jumped into the ring and he thought it would be a good idea to push the ladder down while Eddie Guerrero was on it. I don't understand what he was thinking. This could have been extremely dangerous, especially if Eddie Guerrero didn't see him. Thankfully, Guerrero landed perfectly on his feet and punched the fan in the face while the referee tackled him down. Number 7, Chris Jericho. Shortly after the end of a Raw house show in Canada on February 7th, 2009, Chris Jericho had another fight that night that he was involved in. As Jericho was leaving the parking lot of the arena, a female ran up to his SUV, started knocking on the window and sticking the middle finger towards him while yelling. Chris Jericho then opened the door and the fan would kick it shut. According to other bystanders, this fan was verbally harassing Jericho prior to the show and she continued to do so. It does look like he was entering his car again, and that's when she jumped in to swing at him, and Chris Jericho then retaliated because he wasn't going to let her hit him like that without any consequences. Then another fan jumps in defending her and Jericho just shoves him to the ground, and that is a perfect example of self-defense. Do not mess with Chris Jericho. Number 6, Macho Man. On a Monday Night Nitro episode, there was a fan who interrupted a segment between Macho Man Randy Savage and Kevin Nash. Savage and Nash were brawling. Macho Man got the advantage and was smearing some lipstick on Kevin Nash while he was on the ground. This is when the fan jumped the barricade, got past the security guards, and entered the ring. It didn't really look like he was going to harm any of the competitors. It honestly seemed like he was just in there for some attention from the audience. Macho Man, though, wasn't aware of his intentions and decided to tackle him down while punching him in the face. To be fair though, it looked like Macho Man just wanted to fight anybody at this point because he literally almost punched the security guard too, but it is what it is. Number 5, Randy Orton. The year is 2013, it's late July, and Randy Orton is the current Money in the Bank briefcase holder after winning it earlier that month. The WWE is embarking on a tour in South Africa, and the SmackDown brand specifically is over there. Randy Orton's opponent on this particular night in Cape Town was Big E Langston. Yes, he was still known as Langston at this point. The fans all enjoyed the show and paid their respects to the talent that they paid to see. That was except for one fan, a 20-year-old man who took it upon himself to jump past security and strike Randy Orton as he posed on the turnbuckle after the match. The fan was so desperate for this to happen that he planned it ahead of time and even quit his job to make the show. Orton recovered, kicked him in the face, and flipped off the crowd because he wasn't too happy about the situation. Number 4, Roman Reigns. In 2015, the WWE was in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for a house show, and during the course of the evening, a fan used a replica Money in the Bank briefcase to assault Roman Reigns. According to reports from the show, the fan threw a briefcase in the ring, and that struck Roman Reigns right in the back of the head. Thankfully, he was able to finish his match with Bray Wyatt, but the action was briefly stopped to give him some time to recover. The fan who threw the briefcase was removed by security, and the police were called all over the incident. Number 3, Stone Cold. In the late 90s, a wrestling fan captured a real-life attack on Stone Cold Steve Austin. At the conclusion of the Texas Rattlesnakes live event match with Triple H, who was still known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the time, one insane fan decided to rush the ring and attack Austin. Regardless, Triple H hit this moron with a suplex from hell. Then referee Mike Chioda, one of the longest tenured officials in WWE history, started beating the snot out of the guy until security took him away. After the brutal beatdown, Austin goes on to say that he met with the WWE fan backstage where he gave him a come to Jesus moment to never do something stupid like that ever again. Number 2, Raven. It's always unsettling to see a fan unexpectedly get involved in the action, even when the wrestler sees them making their way into the ring. However, getting jumped from behind and being caught off guard must be unsettling on a different level. Raven was cutting a promo on the April 9th, 1998 edition of WCW Thunder before that very situation happened to him as he was pulled by the hair out of the ring by a fan in the middle of his promo. Raven was a total pro about it. He took a glance at the fan, resisted the urge to strike or fight as security dealt with him, and continued with the promo as if nothing happened. Number 1, Bret Hart. To jump an unsuspecting wrestler is wrong, plain and simple, but there are different levels of wrong. Going to the ring to attack a jacked up wrestler in the prime of their career is crazy, cowardly, and stupid. But going to the ring to tackle a 61-year-old cancer and stroke survivor on an evening where he's accepting a prestigious honor is almost impossible to put into words how low and deplorable it truly is. However, that is what happened to Bret Hart when he was delivering a speech in honor of his late partner, Jim Neidhart of the Hart Foundation, at the 2019 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Bret Hart was up on stage, reminiscing on stories and Jim's legacy, and it was a really heartwarming scene to see Bret go through his stories, and it was honestly a treat to see it. Yet, one fan decided it was a good idea to make a sprint for the ring and tackle Bret mid-speech, and what followed was shock and chaos as wrestlers and personnel scrambled to Bret's defense and dealt with the half-witted fan. Amongst the quickest to scramble to Bret's defense was mixed martial artist and husband to Ronda Rousey, Travis Brown. Travis laid multiple shots as others helped hold the fan down. Another man who notably left his mark on the fan was Cash Wheeler of AEW's FTR. Cash left a stiff punch straight to the face for good measure. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know your thoughts on these fans in the comments below. And on the screen right now are some other videos that you should totally check out if you have some free time. So go ahead and click one of them. I will see you all in the next video.